Hey guys, welcome back to the Devote Series. It is day 44, a little less than a week left. So just hold on, we're almost there. Um, I hope your week is going well, and let's just go ahead and jump into the scripture. The scripture I chose is Matthew chapter 22, verses 15 to 22. And the title of the passage is called Paying Taxes to Caesar. So while you guys are going there, let me just go ahead and give you a summary of what's happening at the time. So there's these two groups called the Pharisees and the Herodians, and they're trying to trap Jesus in his words. A little background on these two groups: they do not have very similar interests at all, but they have a similar interest of going against Jesus because they probably fear the popularity of Jesus and his talk about God. So the Pharisees and Herodians create this test that they want to stump Jesus, and basically they make him choose between side A or side B. It doesn't really matter which side he chooses because regardless, it has a negative outcome for him. So they start the conversation with flattering words. It reads in Matthew chapter 22, verses 15 and 16, that we know you are a man of integrity and that you teach the way of God in accordance with the truth. You aren't swayed by men because you pay no attention to who they are. So they're being very manipulative and complimenting Jesus. They're just saying he's honest, he's integrity. You aren't swayed by men because you pay no attention to who they are. So then they ask the question right after, saying that in verse 17 it says, is it right to pay taxes to Caesar or not? So this is a yes or no question, and Jesus knows they're being manipulative. And just to kind of think, if you were to say yes, Jesus could be viewed as working with Rome and justifying the oppression of the Jews, and this would be very unpopular answer among the Jews. And if you were to say no, Jesus would be viewed as being rebellious and suspecting of starting a revolution. So regardless of what Jesus chooses, it's going to look bad. But again, like I said, Jesus knew they were being manipulative and kind of caught their true intent. So he calls them hypocrites. He says, you're flattering on the outside, but the inside you are evil. But he plays the game anyway. So he tells them, this coin, what's it called? It's a denarius. And he says, whose face inscription is on here? And they reply, it's Caesar's. So Jesus replies in verse 21, give to Caesar's what is Caesar's, and to God what is God's. Initially, looking at what Jesus said, you think, oh, okay, so you want us to pay the tax. And if you just look at it from the first point, but if you read the second part, it says, give to God what is God's. And throughout the New Testament, Jesus has been talking about God's arrival and his kingdom. And so he says, because the Lord created the earth and all that is in it, and those who live in it is his. So in reality, everything on this earth is God's, even the people who view Caesar as a false idol, and Caesar's ability to rule is all dependent on God. So once he answered like this, in verse 22, it reads, when they heard this, they were amazed, so they left him and went away. And it truly is amazing. God didn't fall under the pressure of these two groups, and he didn't just choose yes or no. He created answer choice C and saying that it is all God's. And by saying that, Jesus is reassuring God's ownership and rule. And so this whole scenario, how does this apply to our daily lives? I think it's a question of who do we pledge our allegiance to? Just realize, do you look to a celebrity? Is it an athlete? Is it a material object? There's going to be a lot of different people and objects competing for our loyalties, but at the end of the day, it all belongs to God. If God owns all, we belong to him alone. So I hope you got something out of this message. And if there's something that you saw that I didn't see, you can just go ahead and tell me that. But I hope you guys have a good week, and just let's finish this Lent strong. Thank you guys.